Check, check. You ready? Okay. All right. All right. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. You guys look amazing. Thank you so much for coming out on this glorious, warm summer night. I appreciate you all. Thank you for taking your time to come and get some great information that we're going to share with you this evening. I am Councilwoman Dionne Faulk. For those of you who have not had an opportunity to meet me in person, there we go. All right, I'm back. So we have lots of great information. We're going to try our best to stick to our time frame, which is 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. We might go a little bit over, but we will try to end as close to 8 as possible. So with that said, I am going to go ahead and kick off this show. And I am so happy to see my colleagues over there. We have our Mayor, James T. Butts, in the house. And we have Councilman Alex Padilla, 2nd District. And we have Ms. Gloria Gray, District 1. So I will go ahead and start. Let's go ahead and start with the mayor. A really quick intro for him. I just want to thank him. He has been a great support for me and all the council members. And as I have traveled this journey as your council member for the last 4 years, they have provided great information and guidance so that I can be the best council member that I can for you. So I really appreciate them. They're my family. And if you can, please welcome to the mic Mayor James T. Butts.
Hey, you guys, how we doing tonight? We all right? Now I got to tell you guys something. Let's see, 52 years in public service. I'm my 13th year, 4th term as mayor. And I would tell you this last 7 days, I've been on TV and radio more than I have in the last 2 years. Let me tell you something. Inglewood is blowing up. Blowing up. Now you guys know that there was a time when people didn't recognize us for the greatness that we had, right? You know, they thought that we were crime-infested, gang-infested, poverty. And now, when they sell properties in Westchester, Ladera, Baldwin Hills, View Park, they put at the end of the real estate flyer, Inglewood adjacent. That's a selling point for their property because they're near Inglewood, right? I was looking at some figures for Inglewood property. Now, the assessor assesses the total value of property every year. In 2011, when I took office, our assessed value was $6 billion for all the properties in the city. You know what the assessed value is today? $19 billion. Properties have more than tripled in value. In last year's assessment, Inglewood properties rose 20.2%. The average for the county was 4.85%. Give yourselves a hand. That's more than 5 times. And you know why the media's coming to see me so much? They're finally getting it. They're finally getting it. With the opening of the Intuit Dome, 3 arenas later, Forum, SoFi, YouTube Theater, the LA Philharmonic Youth Orchestra, the Girl Scouts of Los Angeles leaving Marina del Rey, 35,000 strong, to have a headquarters here in Inglewood. Showtime has a production studio in the north end of the city 6 months ago. we're going to build the first movie production studio in the Los Angeles area in the last 40 years, and it's going to be on the SoFi campus. You guys, let me tell you something. The world is coming to see what we have always known, that this is the fastest growing, best city in the United States of America. But it would mean nothing if there wasn't benefit for the residents. When I took office, our unemployment was 79%, one of the two highest in the state of California. In every one of these development agreements for SoFi, for rehabilitation of the Forum, for the building of the YouTube Theater, for the Intuit Dome, every one of them had a 35% local hire requirement. That meant 1 out of every 3 people that were hired had to be an Inglewood resident. Now, all these were prevailing wage jobs. And so that's what was the precursor to the drop of our unemployment rate. Every one of these entities is invested in our parks and our children. The Dodgers built 3 dream fields here. Nike, HBO, the Lakers, they invested in redoing our basketball courts. The Rams and the Chargers, the Clippers have invested in our parks. In 5 years, you won't recognize Inglewood, but we'll all still be here. I like to say that the only thing that's changed in Inglewood is everything, except the people, because I see all of you are still here. All right? And so our next goal is to partner more strongly with the school district. I see Dr. Morris is here. I'm going to tell you guys something, okay? So when I took office, both the city and the school district were heading towards insolvency. The school district became insolvent. We've had like 5 or 6 interim superintendents, and they all had different orientations. I'm going to tell you for a fact. I'm an MBA. I graduated summa cum laude from Cal Poly Pomona. Dr. Morris is the first administrator that recognizes that doing the schools, leading the schools, just like leading the city, ultimately is a business. There has to be enough money to put a quality product out so that people want to buy it. The problem with our school district is there aren't enough students in the system. We went from 17,000 students down to just under 7,000 today. And there's been a lot of, disappointment, and I understand that disappointment. But if we kept these schools open without average daily attendance money to fund them, then we will not put out a good product. And so we're going through a tough time now. Just a couple days ago, I was over at Morningside campus, and Dr. Dre and Jimmy Evine announced the start of a Innovation Academy there. In innovation, Dr. Dre and Jimmy Evine. And so what's happening is people are coming here, people are investing. We're getting ready to renovate our main library. You know the main library over there on Manchester? We're going to take, that's worth applause, right? It's going to be a $60 million project. But on the 3rd floor, we're also going to build an innovation center with 3D modeling, videography training, and we're going to have the video studio big enough so that we can bring kids over for them to be trained and instructed. What we want to do is offer instruction and innovation in this city that's not available in any other city. And I believe that working together with the school district, we will bring back the school district, IUSD, to its former glory. And so I want us to continue to give Dr. Morris support because he's got a tough job. It's a tough job to come in and say we can't afford this and we can't afford that. When I came into this city in 2011, I took office in February. By June of that year, we were going to be bankrupt. We had no money in the bank. We'd spent up all the money that was put aside to pay sick, comp, and vacation for the employees. We had to cut 139 positions. We had to say, no, there will be no lifetime medical. We had to outsource parking control, street sweeping, tree trimming, and the employees weren't happy about that. They picketed my neighborhood. They passed out a flyer with me in a top hat and said I was Scrooge. And the only saving grace is I say it was a damn good picture of me. But you guys, since that time, wages for our city employees are now amongst the top in the South Bay. They've received raises of over 50%. But that couldn't happen if we didn't do the tough things. We did the tough things. We dreamed big. We negotiated big. And we are where we are now. And I really want to praise Councilwoman Dionne Faulk. She is extremely dedicated to all of you and all of us. And I want to give her a big hand, you guys. And I know she's doing something right, because every time I come to this meeting, the place is full, and it's not just the cookies. I know that. So we want to thank you for your support. This has not been easy, but we've come to the precipice of greatness. So thank you guys very much for your time.
All right. Thank you so much, Mayor James T. Butts in the house. And next up, I want to acknowledge our District 1 council member, Gloria Gray, the other councilwoman on the council with me. Come on up. Give her a big round of applause.
Thank you, Councilwoman Faulk. It's great to have another woman on the council, so let's applaud that again. There are 2 women on the council, right? It's really a pleasure always to be in front of the community. One of the things that were important to me when I became a public servant was really helping people. That's really what drove me to really want to be a public servant. And part of doing that is really making sure that you listen to folks, you're transparent, you involve them in whatever you're doing. And so I think having these town hall meetings is what that is all about, making sure your community is informed. And I want to commend Councilwoman Faulk for doing this. I've been on the council for a little over a year. I think this is our 3rd one. And I think it is wonderful to be before the community and to inform them of really what's going on. So let's give her another round of applause. Yeah, it's really great. And she's been in my town hall meetings, and we just kind of switch back and forth. But it's really important, I think, to the community. And you heard the mayor talk about the progression in the city. You know, I call it a renaissance, and we've just excelled far beyond what I could imagine. And I've lived in Inglewood for many years, and you know, and that's great, but it's a team effort. You know, the mayor is at the head lead of the city, but it's the council members along with staff. When I look in the back and I see city folks, staff back there, it really is a team effort, and you are part of that team, because we have to pay attention to the quality of life, those things that impact you when the city is on the move. And so, again, you know, he mentioned Dr. Morris, and I've had the pleasure of interacting with him since I've been on the council, and he is truly committed to this community. I know he made some very hard decisions. School closure is very, very important to all of us, but I think he made decisions in the best interest of children, and I think that's what is important. So again, I'm happy to be here to support Councilwoman Faulk. Thank you for doing it, Dionne, and thank you all for being here.
All right. And next up, I have Councilman Alex Padilla, District 2. And let's give him a round of applause, please. Thanks.
Thank you. Well, thank you, everybody. We're ready to roll. I don't want to be up here all night. You know, you guys aren't here to listen to politicians, but I'm going to, do you have the PowerPoint? No, I'm just kidding you. But look, we wouldn't be where we're at if it wasn't for you. If it wasn't for you believing in us, believing in your leadership to move this city forward. And there were times, we know it, where you're sitting there scratching your head wondering, is this real? Or, I mean, is this even possible? Right? Because for so many years, we were willing to settle for whatever. And those days changed. When we brought new leadership to this city, when we engaged our residents, our community, and said, trust and believe in us, because we are destined to make Inglewood the city to drive to and not through. And we are doing that. And we could only do that because of you, because of your support. I always tell folks there's three things when you look to move in a city most people think about. Number one is they want to feel safe, crime. And we have the lowest crime rate that we've ever had since probably, 1975. And I got to thank our police officers that are back there that are going to be coming up in a minute. Let's give them a round of applause. Because our police officers go out there every single day to risk it all so that we can have a safe community. So I want to thank them for that service. The other thing we look around at is we say, you know what, what's our financial situation in that city? Because we don't want to move into a city that's going bankrupt. And now you look at the city of Inglewood, and now everybody wants to be here. Not only people want to buy homes, our developers are all knocking on the doors. Everybody's trying to get this city continue to go to the next level. And I tell folks, get ready for the Olympics. It's coming in 4 years. Our businesses have to be prepared so that we can continue to be the jewel of the South Bay. And then the other thing they look at is our school district, because people want to bring their kids into a school district that's doing excellent. And we have that now with the leadership of Dr. Morris, with somebody that understands the importance of making tough decisions, right? If it was easy, everybody'd do it. But he walked into something that was a bunch of moving parts and very dynamic, and he's done an excellent job. And so let's give Dr. Morris a round of applause. And for you guys, you have a great council person that cares about District 4. She's going to talk about some of the upcoming developments that are happening here in her district. And so it's really good that we have a solid team. We got to keep this team together. And so I want to thank Dionne for always being there and being a champion for our district and for the city. So with that, thank you so much. God bless you. I got to step away because I'm going to the Lions Club installation dinner, the Inglewood Lions Club, and so I got to go there to support our local nonprofits and our community-based organizations. So thank you, God bless you, and have a wonderful night.
All right, let's give it up for him one more time, please. Yay! Okay, last but certainly not least is our city clerk, Miss Aisha Thompson. And boy, oh boy, she's been really busy. So we're keeping you lifted up because we know that you're working really hard for the city right now. So if you could please welcome and give it up for our wonderful city clerk, Miss Aisha Thompson.
Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing? My name's Aisha Thompson. Again, I'm the city clerk, and yes, this is a very, very, very busy time of my life, which is okay. I signed up for it, so it's a good thing. It's election year, and so I'm working hard trying to get everything together and get everything coordinated, working with the County of Los Angeles, the County Registrar Recorder's Office. You know, it's a presidential election as well, and a lot of people, a lot of residents have been reaching out to my office asking about voter registration cards. What can I do to stop by and speak speak to some of the residents, and I'll be more than happy to do that. So if you're doing something like that, please, pretty please, contact my office. I've ordered many of the voter registration cards already from the County Register Recorder's office, so I have plenty coming to my office next week. So if you need that, please call my office. We'll make that available. And if you need anything from me, please feel free to, I have my business cards outside. Take one, give the city clerk's office a call. And again, I'm so appreciative of Councilwoman Faulk for always including me, always inviting, always just being right there. And I really appreciate you. You are really committed to our District 4 residents. And not only that, though, but to our city of Inglewood. I mean, she and I co-hosted together the Women Rock Empowerment Summit for 3 years consecutively. And then, right? And then we were honored to have Councilwoman Gray come aboard, and she was a part of it. So, I'm just so thankful to be a part of what you're doing. I'm looking forward to continuing to do what it is that we're supposed to do. So, again, thank you so much, Councilwoman Faulk. And if you need me, call me. I'm a phone call away. Thank you.
All right, we're getting ready to get started. I think the mayor said he neglected to share one more thing with you, so I'm going to bring him back up here real quick. He wanted to talk to you about something real quick, so here we go.
I don't know if it'll be quick, but no. Here's the thing. How many of you heard of the Inglewood Transit Connector? Raise your hand. Okay. How many of you know a lot about it? Okay. So here's the thing. Let me talk about this because I've done 5 television interviews about it after one of our elected representatives came out against it. And so let's talk about what it is. The Transit Connector is a 1.6-mile elevated people mover, which will likely be a monorail, that will connect the K line from Florence and Market Street, over Market Street, over Manchester, over Prairie, to the venues. Now, for the first time in the history of the United States of America, a 9-square-mile city has assembled a commitment of $2 billion to make this transit connection. Now, I've heard that an elected official thinks that money should be programmed for affordable housing. And that would be fantastic if she had got it for that. But what this is from the infrastructure bill from the Biden-Harris organization, and it's meant for transit. It can only be used for transit. If it does not happen, this $1 billion will go to other states in the United States of America. Did I make that clear? And along with this $1 billion and this project that will be gone are 17,000 jobs, a third of them meant for local hire. Along with this $1 billion will go $868 million in prevailing wage jobs. Now, how many of you have ever heard of the circulation value of money? Well, see, right back there. Okay, here's what happens. Money, wages, are not the be-all, end-all. Those 17,000 people will have to spend that money. They'll spend it on local businesses. They'll spend it on the cleaners. And so that money will circulate through the economy. And when it's all said and done, the LAEDC, LA Economic Development Corporation, has calculated that those jobs and that money will aggregate to $3.4 billion of economic activity in this county. Now, why are we doing this? Now, Inglewood is used to traffic. I started here in '72 in the police department. I left in '91 to become the chief in Santa Monica. I left there in 2006 to become assistant general manager of the World Airport System in charge of counterterrorism and public safety. During that time, the Lakers and Kings left for Staples. The racetrack went down to 1,000 people a day. And when I came back, the most famous things we had were Sizzler and the Big Donut and an $18 million structural deficit. I want you to listen to me because this is what I talk about, what Dr. Morris is facing. When cars and people stop coming to a city, you depend on your indigenous sales taxes, meaning that generated locally, and indigenous property taxes. In every boom cycle of the economy, cities that depend on those sources of revenue, they do okay. Every dip in the economy, they have to cut their budgets and they have to cut back on employees. That was the story of Inglewood. Now, if we walk away from this $2 billion, we will never see this kind of investment again. And it isn't just me. We have 60 entities that support us to do this. You know why? Because everybody knows it's the right thing to do. Everybody knows that for the future, people will look around one day and say, they turned down $2 billion and they got 5 million people a year coming to their city. So I want you to understand what this is about. This is about seizing your destiny. And the only way this won't happen, because the $200 million that we had a congressional person get in the way of was put back in by the Senate. So we have the commitment still. Now we still have to come up with $300 million more. That's going to be my job from the South Bay Council of Governments. And we still have to make the bid come into the $2.2 billion that the Federal Transportation Administration says they'll fund. And then it will happen. If it doesn't happen, it won't happen because we didn't try. We owe it to you to try. We owe it to the 17,000 people that will have good paying jobs. And that's what the Transit Connector is all about. Is everybody, did I make that really clear? All right, so I don't want to hog Dionne's town hall meeting, because this is about her and about you and about all of us. So thank you guys for all your support. Thank you.
All right, all right. Let's give it up, Mayor James T. Butts. Okay, so before we get into our program, this is the part that I love. So not only is the mayor and the council members working hard, but we also have commissioners that work hard. They meet once a month and they handle the business of the city. And so right now I'd like to acknowledge our commissioners and let's start with our commissioners. So if our commissioners could please stand up. There we go. All right. And before you sit down, I would like for you to just state your name and what commission you're on. Do you want to take the mic?
Cheryl McClellan, Housing Commission, 4th District.
Thank you. Dolly Morrison, Naming and Facilities of Street and Commissioners in the City of Inglewood.
Barbara Hibbeler, Chairperson, Parking and Traffic.
Dorothy Cole, 4th District, for 35 years.
You didn't say your commission.
I did.
No, you didn't.
What did I miss?
Your commission.
Oh,
You just
sorry, you can tell I've been around a long time. 4th District, Dorothy Cole. Commissioner. Oh, okay, that shows you I need to leave.
I'll leave you alone. Okay. Okay, my name is Linda Smith, and I'm on the Oversight Commission. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you hear me? Like I'm yelling at you? Yeah, she can talk loud. Okay, my name is Linda Smith, and I'm on an Oversight Commission. 4th District, excuse me.
And you're on the Human Affairs.
You don't even know who you are.
I didn't.
Human Affairs Commission.
Oh. Human Affairs Commissioner Dorothy Cole, 4th District, over 35 years, and so you must forgive me for forgetting.
Lord Jesus.
There we go. That's hilarious.
Good evening. My name is Lois Hale, and I'm a commissioner for parking and traffic, District 4.
Good evening. Cheryl Shaw Williams, Planning and Zoning Commission.
Hi, my name is Maxine Barfield. I'm the Block Club captain for Lamoli Block Club. That's in Imperial Village.
Nicole Goff, Van Wyck Street Block Club captain.
I'm Marilyn Alexander, 2nd Avenue Block Club liaison.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Vernell Ritchie. I'm the president of the Renaissance HOA. Feel free to call me if you need anything. Open to everyone.
Cheryl McClellan again, 2nd Avenue Block Club South, 15 years.
All right, so as you can see, we have a lot of leadership here for District 4. So if you live in the area of one of the block club captains that you heard them speak, connect with them. If you're not active, get active, because I usually try to attend the block club meetings and make sure that I present updates and provide information about what's going on. So if you want to stay connected and you're not, the best way to stay connected is get active with your block club, okay? So do me a favor and do that. If you're not, then get connected. I think that covers everybody. Really quick, before we get started with our first presentation, I want to talk a little bit about some upcoming District 4 events. So as you know, we have on August 24th our backpack giveaway event. And so that will be happening at the corner of Crenshaw and Imperial. And it will be in the Superior Shopping Center. We usually give away 1,000 backpacks at that giveaway, okay? And we have lots of kids that come out, participate. So if you feel so inclined to come and volunteer, please contact my wonderful deputy, Malcolm Patton. He'll give out the number, and please connect with him. Make sure that if you want to volunteer, there's always an opportunity, okay? And then we have also, just so you all know, that I usually do a few different events in December. So in December, I will do the Darby Dixon toy giveaway. That will be December 7th. And the Winter Wonderland, that will be coming up December 8th. And then lastly, the Inglewood Unified School District Toy Drive in December 13th. So I usually connect with the block club captains. I usually work with them if they want to give donations towards the toy drive or they want to volunteer. This is your time. So I'm giving everybody plenty of warning to please, please, please connect with your block club captains and, volunteer your time, volunteer your money for our needy kids in December. So I will be reaching out to you. Okay. So that's what's happening. One last thing that I want to acknowledge is that, as you know, we have the November election. And I do want to let several residents have asked me, what are you doing? I am running for re-election. I just want you all to know. Thank you so much. And I love working with you all, and I love supporting you, and so I'm looking forward to doing that. I'm very excited. On Saturday, I'm leaving, I'm catching a red eye, and I'm going to the National Democratic Convention in Chicago. And I am blessed to be elected to represent the state of California, and I will be endorsing Kamala Harris to be the first African-American woman president. So I'm really excited. If you're not on my social media, please connect with me. I'm going to do a bunch of live posts. You will feel like you're in Chicago. So I wanted to let you know that it's going to be a great week. So connect with me so you can see what's happening in Chicago. And also it will be live on MSNBC. A lot going on. So just please pay attention, stay connected with me. I want to be with you. I want you guys to be with me as I enjoy next week in Chicago. So with that said, we're going to get started with our first presentation. I'm going to ask our Lieutenant Hand to come up, and Lieutenant Mosley. And they're going to provide information on what's happening in District 4. So criminal activity, speeding, everything that you guys call me and complain about, y'all need to ask them what's going. But he's going to provide some great information. So please give them a hand.
Thank you. You too, ma'am. Okay, well, let's see if we can put this up here. Can you hear me okay? Okay. Well, good evening. I've got Officer Mosley with me, and Sergeant Massey is also right here. I'll introduce him in a second. So you don't have to just hear me speak. We have a lot of specialists. Fortunately, they're working, and fortunately for us tonight, they happen to have a quick break. So they have a bike detail they're going to hit tomorrow morning, and the other sergeant's working patrol tonight. So I'm going to steal them quickly for your questions afterward. Be gentle. But they're going to be out right after this. I'm going to let them head on out. But I really want to have you listen to some of the people that you hire and some of the different backgrounds that you guys are doing to get your police department safe. And I know it's the #1 expense for most cities, so I want to let you know what your police department's doing for you. Again, I'm Lieutenant Hand. I'm going to talk just briefly about, there's a couple of different topics. Will be the transients, which will be Officer Mosley, and then some of the traffic issues with the street takeovers. Sergeant Massey will get into that. For me, I'm going to discuss traffic accidents. You've seen them. You wonder what we're going to do to combat that. Some of the traffic stats, just to give you a rough estimate, 472 total for the city of last year, 85 TCs within the last month. 500 citywide is our usual. We've had 7 fatalities over the past year. 75% of these are DUI related, and they're mostly left turn violations and speed. And you know the usual locations, which happens to be in our district, which is going to be Crenshaw. The speeds that come off of Crenshaw, Crenshaw Century, Crenshaw Manchester, Crenshaw 108th, Crenshaw Imperial. So what we've done to do that is we're going to have more officers go in the area. We have a DUI saturation that the state of California gives us with the MAD, the Mothers Against Drunk Drivers Fund, $200 to $250 million that they give us. I'm sorry, $250,000 they give us every year to spend on the officers. So we have 4 to 5 DUI checkpoints, which you'll see come up, and then we'll have about 7 to 8 saturations. And saturations means we'll actually pay for other officers to come into our city and do DUI. That are usually DUI specialists of some type, and they'll conduct traffic investigations. With that said, your department, we have over 274 tickets at this time for a month last year. This year, 342. We have led in the TCs. The traffic collisions have gone down, and the traffic stops have gone up. So this is to give you an idea of traffic enforcement. And they'll go over some stats with, we're towing the vehicles, we're taking this. So we're doing, there's a little bit of a combination of the reckless drivers, again, that Sergeant Massey will get into. But you'll see the increased enforcement leads to decreased traffic collisions, decreased fatalities. So it's not always great to see it, but when you see us with our lights on out there conducting traffic stops, we're doing what you pay us to do. And that's what we're hoping that you're proud of us for that. That's what you pay us to do. We're going to try to do the best. I mean, we're recruiting, we stole Officer Mosley. We stole him from the Los Angeles Police Department. We got him to come work with us. So we're trying to do the best we can to steal from them and every other agency. So, you know, that's our little bit of a crimes that we're committing. We're stealing. But we're trying to get the best that you can. Luckily for you and your city and the way it's run with your supervisors is you're making it where we can hire the best. And that's really tough. It's a nationwide issue with trying to get the police department. You see no one wants to be a part of the police department when we have to pick up the trash, but that's what you pay us to do. and we take away the inappropriate activity that goes on, and we put them in jail or get them counseling or figure out something to do for it. So with that said, I'm going to conclude my portion of this. We'll be open for discussions here in a second, but let me introduce you to Officer Mosley. Officer Mosley is part of our bike team. He's a field training officer. He also does our social media, which gets out to you guys. He was from Los Angeles Police Department, like I said, and he right now is the current assignment is the Inglewood Mental Evaluation Team. This is a huge step that we make with our police department, where we get this money. With picture of the police officers, when you call us out, your patrol guys or your general practitioner, they are, okay, I can assess that something's wrong. And then we have our specialists. This is our specialist that deals with this. He has all kinds of tools to his access that we don't have in patrol, that we're on to the next emergency, the next call for service, the next traffic accident. He can specialize in that, spend the time, and get all the resources that the city has to make sure we can solve the problem, hopefully permanently. So I'll let him speak, and then after you're done, I'll introduce Sergeant Massey.
Good evening, everyone. How are you? How are you? Hey, there it is. Some familiar faces, so it's good to see. Just a quick background about myself. Why did I get into civil service? Well, my father was one of the first African Americans to be integrated into the Los Angeles Fire Department back in 1947. So I know the challenges, all right? And it's very symbolic as to how the city has grown. It's been in one spot, you meet the challenge, you overcome it, and you win. That's how it happens. So being in Inglewood, I have a family that lives in Inglewood. I have a cousin sits right back there, Nicole Golf. She's my cousin, so I have family here. So I'm vested here, and I appreciate you for allowing me to be here and do the work that you need us to do, because this is your department. We wear these badges because you allow us to be here. So that's the intro. Now, let's get into what I do. I've been here for 5 years, and I've been blessed to be here for 5 years. And yes, I'm going to give you some scenarios. I deal with the unhoused and the mentally ill. But what does that mean? What does that mean for the city? Every time you drive down the street and you see a subject that's in need of some help, either unhoused or whatever, I'm going to be your point of contact for that. And just keep in mind, those contacts takes time. What I'm able to do since they've reenacted this division is I'm able to pull resources from the city and outreach to other agencies. What that means is not necessarily saying, hey, you got to get up, move. You go from beat 3 to beat 4. That's not what we're going to do. The end game is to get them we can't get them rehabilitated because that's not what we're doing. We're not doctors. We're going to get them stabilized. Stabilized with basic needs of health care, mental care, housing, counseling, all of those things, right? And this is what I've learned. You can't arrest yourself out of a 5150 mental hold, or you can't mentally hold somebody out of an arrest. So I got to be able to judge, and I got to be able to have the tools and the resources and the time to do it. Okay, there's only one of me now, and of course, patrol assists. But as they're handling the larger scheme of things, I'm in the trenches. And guaranteed, I will try to if I could get to every block, I will get to every block. But that is my goal. Remember, we got to walk before we can run. Okay, Jesus is the way for me, so I'm blessed, I'm good. So let's move forward. As of late, we're trying to handle the Century corridor between Crenshaw, Century, and Imperial. Panhandlers, you see folks doing fundraising, traffic hazards, all those things. We're out there trying to address them. Majority of the times when we get there, if we get a radio call, they've already dispersed. However, as of late, we've contacted, I had to send emails to my lieutenant. I've contacted multiple individuals that were unhoused that needed resources, right? And I asked them, remember, I spend time there, I ask questions. I'm not there just to shoo them off, because what does that do? That becomes more of a problem. So if I spend a little time asking them the good questions, right? What can I do for you? How can we make this happen? You get their attention, my word is bond, 100. So by connecting with them, they're helping me help you. And I'm telling you, it's effective in its truth. Some of you might not believe it, but I'm telling you, it's a work in progress, and it's going to work, and the progress is here. Continuing, 118th and Yukon, the freeway, that issue we have there. Who said, oh Lord? Okay, it's probably the whole room, but I get you. That part, okay. So what it is there, that area right there is governed, and it's handled by CHP and Caltrans. And, you know, it's disheartening for us to be on the border where we can't act fully, but let's do this. Give me an opportunity to collaborate with Caltrans and CHP so that not only if once the folks are moved, they're not displaced into another area behind in your backyard or to another part of the city. Give us the time. I'm asking for time so I can appropriately give them resources that they need. It's important. That's all I can ask for. So with the mental evaluation team, the key word in that is evaluation. I need time to evaluate, to get assets, resources together to make things happen and to implement it to give you a quality of life that you deserve as constituents of the city of Inglewood. You understand? Okay. I'm not yelling at you, I'm just talking to you. A couple more things and then I'm out of here. Let's see. The mayor and, you know, and the embodiment of all the constituents here said one thing. Inglewood is an all-American city, right? We have a lot of things coming up. Olympics, Super Bowl, all that good stuff. But we're on the national community world stage. And I want everyone to feel comfortable knowing that we are very few in the police department, just about 200, but we're working very, very hard to contribute to the large scheme of things within this city, okay? And I just want to address one last thing. With my unit, and I hope to get more people to assist and be as passionate as I am with it. Because remember, if you can be contagious, sometimes being contagious is a good thing, right? I'm not saying get a cold and not go to work, but I'm saying you want to get the part, you get contagious, people want to come to work and do this job and do what it is. It takes special people to do these specialized things. It takes a special person to be a lieutenant to handle the troops and deal with their daily things. It takes a lot to be a mother, a father, a brother, a sister, a cousin, uncle, employee, employer, an owner, because you have to deal with all those things. But together, as our motto says, we are making the difference. Thank you.
As you can see, he's really shy. Right. I wish he would come out of his shell sometimes. A couple of things he didn't get a chance to talk on. They're going to do an operation into it, getting all the transits out of that area. That's they're hitting the bike team. So you see those new bikes that you guys paid for. That's what that's for. We go in there because it's quieter to work with the bikes. We get in little areas. So there's tools that you'll end up paying for your police department. It just gives us different ways to combat some of this activity. Drones, you guys are getting a wonderful drone package. Unfortunately, because of our flight direction with the city, or with the LAX, we can't get airships in here. But this drone program is going to be, bar none, video cameras. You're getting video cameras for TCs and for criminal activities. Again, we're looking at Beverly Hills system. We're trying to blow them out of the water. So let me get 2 more seconds, ma'am, if that's okay. I want to get okay. Sergeant Massey's been with the department for 22 years. One of our SWAT personnel, worked at the Fugitive Task Force. He was let me get his laundry list of things he's got. Anti-crime team. He's been a detective. Currently he's one of the firearms and tactics instructors, arrest control instructors, which we deal with on a daily basis out here. Just briefly, how we take people into custody. The more efficient your police department is and how they do it, the less ugly it looks. So you want them to be fit and very proficient in how we take people into custody. We have to do a non-pretty job. He's one of the people that keeps us where it's over quickly, it's not all over CNN, and we don't pay a lot of liability out for that. And that's something that we want to be able to do is to address someone that maybe not, they want to get violent. Well, that's what you pay us to, you call us and we can handle that. Sergeant Massey?
All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. And the reason I'm here today is to talk specifically about street takeovers and the problem that it is creating within our community. Just a little bit about me. I was raised in this community. I was babysat by a loving aunt and uncle of mine that lived off of Imperial and Sims. I was married to my wife of 24 years in this community. Even though I never lived here or had a house in this area, I have this weird family connection to this community. And the 22 years that I've been here have been awesome, and the citizens that I've met and the people that I've contacted have been fantastic. In fact, this community and serving in this capacity has left such an impression on me that my daughter is now getting hired with us, and I think will be the first daddy-daughter team that we've had here in the city of Inglewood. So, yeah, thank you. So obviously I'm proud of her, and I know that she'll do better than me, and that's all we can hope for, right? Is our kids do a little better than us, and then the world ends up being a better place. So I'll talk about some stats at the end here, but just to let you know that your voices are heard when you call the watch commander or you're talking to your city council folks. They call the lieutenants and they drive a direction down to the sergeant. That's my job, right? The field supervisor. The street takeovers, obviously, they're in the news. They're a big issue. And we have taken it very seriously. So much so that on my last assignment, I'd spent the last 3.5 years working graveyards. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, only the best days, right? That's what you do when you get 21 years on, you work graveyard weekends. So I've been kind of at the forefront of dealing with the street takeover issue. Some of the things that we've done, we've increased our response time and response personnel to the takeovers. Our goal primarily is to prevent the intersection from being taken over. Does anybody here not know what a street takeover is? Everyone pretty much knows what they are? Okay, a street takeover event is when a collection of usually young folks and vehicles block an intersection and then they do donuts in the middle of the street. So if you're ever driving by, particularly like Imperial and Yukon, and you see the black tire marks in the street, that's probably from a street takeover. Not only are we dealing with just the traffic and the noise issues of the street takeover, but if you've recently watched on the news, there's also a propensity for violence amongst these things. Shootings, they'll start looting stores and things like that. That has not happened in our community due to the primary response of our officers under the leadership of the chief and the lieutenants and the captains. They've made this a priority for us. So one of the things we've done as a strategy when I talk about expediting our response to these is the first thing we want to do is we want to prevent the intersection from being taken over. So if you've ever been driving in the community and you see like 5 or 6, 7 black and whites with their lights and sirens on going somewhere, probably towards Imperial, we're probably trying to prevent a takeover from occurring. So we know that if we can intervene early on, then we can keep the flow of traffic and reduce crime and reduce the impact on the community. If we allow it to go on, or if we're a little bit behind the 8 ball and they dominate an intersection, ambulances can't get through, fire department can't get through, right? And then usually when those events are prolonged, they end up hitting a pedestrian who wants to run in the middle of the street and look at the cars going around in circles. I don't get it, but that's what they're into now. So our goal is prevention first, right? After our prevention, if the intersection is taken over, our secondary goal then is to clear the intersection and allow the free movement of traffic. After that, it's direct enforcement. And we have a zero tolerance policy on this. There are several LA County municipal codes, vehicle codes that we use where we can arrest people for spectating, we can impound their vehicles, and write citations. So when you see the officers clearing an intersection and you see black and white zipping everywhere, pulling cars over, that's our direct enforcement. We have a zero tolerance policy. When I go to these traffic stops to support the officers out there doing the work, I explain to the individuals that we have detained that in no uncertain circumstances that they come back to our beautiful community and do this again. Now, if they want to come here and watch a football game or eat it in and out, they're more than welcome to. But you're not going to sit here and spectate and ruin what we're building, what we're trying so hard to build here. So keep that in other areas. Just don't bring it over here to us. So that's our goal. So the time frame I'm going to talk about when we talk about stats is going to be from January to August. And I'm going to compare 2023 stats to 2024 stats so we can talk about how effective we're being as it comes to takeovers. All right, so January 1st to August 2023, we had 16 tows total. We increased that to 23. So we're seeing a little bit more enforcement with our officers. We're actually towing more cars. Now, these are just calls for tows. Now, whether it's an enforcement issue, whether it's tied to the takeovers, that data is hidden in all the numbers. It would take us a little bit longer to get that to you, but just understand that we are beginning to tow more cars on the enforcement end. Reckless drivers have gone down. We had 61 calls for service in 2023. During that time period, we had 59 in 2024. It's only a drop of 2, but a decrease gets us down the right path rather than an increase. So
this is the 4-month time period.
Yeah, this is.
This is not for the year, right?
No, this is not for the year. This is between.
Those are like 3 months, 4 months.
Yeah, it's 6, right? January to August. So this is a 6-month. time period. The biggest reduction that we've seen is actually in-street takeovers, and that's because of the direct enforcement that the officers are using in the zero tolerance policy. Between January 1st, 2023 to August 2023, we had 28. So in that time period, in the year 2020, we had 28 takeovers that were reported. Now these are events where the intersection is actually taken over. So sometimes we'll get calls like, hey, we have cars starting to gather. It might be a takeover. We'll just send units down there and try and intervene early on. However, January 1st, 2024 to August 13th, 2024, we only had 11. So that's a significant decrease in the amount of street takeovers that we're having in the city. Now, listen, 11 is too many. 28 was way too many. I'd love to get it to 0, but I wanted you guys to be rest assured that we are doing everything we can to resolve this issue, and that the officers out there that are patrolling the streets, when we get these calls, we take it very, very seriously, and we're using every investigative tool that we can to try and prevent these from happening. So our goal is 0, 11's a good start, and hopefully we'll continue to see a reduction in them from this point on.
Do you have any questions?
We're going to take a few questions. If you have a question, if you can work your way over here to this microphone, please. We're just going to take a few. We're running a little bit behind. And we're going to ask that you limit your question. Once you ask the question, we're going to...
You turn around. Hi, I'm Lisa Flanori. I'm a resident in the Renaissance home gated community. Lieutenant Han, it's good to see you. I haven't seen you in about 20 years. We worked together at your last department. When I talked to you a couple of weeks ago, I didn't know it was you. But I need you to do me a favor. I've been trying for the last 3 meetings that the council person has had to get Mr. Bill Thomas, that's over traffic enforcement, to talk about what you and I talked about, Section 503 of the fire code that has to do with an unobstructed fire lane. Because not only is it now obstructed with cones, now there's a 6-foot A-frame that's in the middle of the street, plus they stack the TNCs on Pinkai, and it limits us residents to emergency service of police and fire. Most recently, a police car got stuck in the middle and had to almost go on the sidewalk and the curb to get away to turn around to go to their code 3 call. And that's not fair to us residents that only have one way in off Pinkai. On the Christmas holiday last year, there was a fire in our community, and the fire apparatus couldn't even get to us because Pinkai was blocked and there wasn't a maintained fire lane. I've tried the last 2 or 3 meetings, so I'd appreciate that if you could still work on it for me. It's Section 503 of the 503.1 of the California Fire Code. It says that a fire lane must be maintained at all times, a 20-foot fire lane up to the sky with not a vehicle or any item blocking the street. Then I wanted to say to Officer Mosley, it's good to see you too. I used to work South Bureau. I wanted you to please look into, I know you're working on the unhoused, but let's talk about the people that line up on Pinkai blocking the sidewalk, sleeping in tents during day hours like the ones today, when we don't let our own unhoused sleep in tents anymore because of the governor's ordinance. But they're allowed to be out there without the venue providing porta potties or anything else. And we have to look at them in their tents when we go to work, but we can't even have our own children sleep out there that are housed, that come from this community to live out there. And then Officer Mosley, congratulations on your daughter. Be sure to tell the residents how long it's been since a female has been hired by Inglewood Police Department, and what a great honor that is to have her serve in our community. It's been, I think, almost like 10 or 15 years since we've had a female. So congratulations on that too. One more thing and then I'm done, Dionne. The mayor was talking about the rail, and I know the rail gets a lot of bad publicity. I've worked for the city of Los Angeles for over 30 years, and the one thing that most people don't understand about the rail is the rail was an agreement with the African American community, mainly in Leimert Park in the Crenshaw District in South Los Angeles, to bring transportation to connect the south side to the west side. That's why they call the exposition line Grand to the Sand and the people mover that comes through LAX where I work. That's to connect people without transportation to other communities when they're in their area. So kind of think a little bit differently about people that don't have transportation and the children that go in their front yard and look at the palm trees and never been to the beach. I used to work the youth programs for the police department. Thank you all for your service.
Vehicles from Crenshaw to the hospital. TNCs? They're supposed to be on the, they're supposed to be on the right side or the north side. Yep. We will address it. Okay.
Thank you. Next question, please. And please, we're going to only take a few questions, so please go right ahead.
Yes, this is for the officer that is working with the unhoused on the streets. I would love to connect with you. I walk Inglewood every morning 7 to 10 miles, and I can give you a real good count of the homeless and the mentally ill that are here in this city, and especially around 4:30 to 5:30 in the morning. And they're just making encampments. But anyway, I'd like to talk to you about it. I have a solution for you.
Hi, my name is Arturo Martinez. I'm a 45-year resident, born, raised, and educated right here in Inglewood. Currently running for Inglewood City Council District 4, but they're refusing to put my name on the ballot. I chose to run, let me speak. I chose to run because I live next to Bennett Q. I am not campaigning. I'm not officially a candidate. I am not a candidate officially. I am not a candidate. I am not on the ballot. No. I live next to Bennett Q Elementary, and I used to call the cops several times because there was unhoused. They're doing donuts. I'm not a candidate. I'm a resident.
I have something to say. Part of the reason why we're running late is because we started late. 6 o'clock is 6 o'clock. Y'all want us to clap for everybody and do all this, but it's something called punctuality, and I didn't see it here. Okay, so no, okay, now this is my whole issue. My house has been broken into twice. I live next door to the 105. I'm right off of Crenshaw. If you turn in and stuff, it's a 2-story house. We had to move out of it for renovations because my house been broken into twice. Now because, I just say white people, rich people, because they have their wildfires, my homeowner insurance been canceled because of the homeless. They are out of control. Now, if they sick, okay, let them be sick somewhere else. My thing is, I want to talk to the officer who deal with the crazies. I want to know why is it that, and like I've been there a long time, the Inglewood police come, you guys are wonderful, you come, but at the gate, you can't go no further than the gate. So on the other side of my house is the state of California, which is Highway Patrol. So I know all of this, and I know about Caltrans, how far the Inglewood police can go and all of this. There is no unity in that. I know that for sure. And also, I would like to see if you would get us the kind of fence that you have on Imperial and Prairie. Because where they come in right on Crenshaw, on the on-ramp, if we had a more sturdy fence like they have the one on Prairie and Imperial, that would stop them from coming in and bothering all of us that's along the side of the freeway, because it's a different beast if your home is next door to that gate. It's hard to get some type of action. Okay, that's fine. I just wanted him to know I don't want him to leave before I speak to him. Thank you. Mine is just quick.
Is there? Hello? Oh, there we go. All right. We're going to get back on track, y'all. How about that? Okay. All right. So we are going to move on to our Inglewood Unified School District presentation. And we're going to receive a presentation by Dr. James Morris. He is our county administrator. And I know a lot of you are interested in what's happening with the Inglewood Unified School District, right? And with the schools. So I wanted to make sure that he comes and he provides direct information to you so that you have a good understanding about what's happening. So at this time, can you please help me welcome Dr. Morris?
Thank you. So thank you so much, Councilmember. I'm going to make this presentation really fast, but first of all, I want to begin, first slide, I just want to show you the district's report card. Because folks said to me last year when I was here, this district has been in receivership for 12 years. And they said, hey, Morris, you're the 9th administrator that this district has had in 12 years. And let me tell you, I said at that time, I'm here to stay and I'm here to get the job done. And Malcolm, if you go to the first slide, this is kind of the report card. Every year, because our district has been in receivership, we have an audit from a state agency called the Financial Crisis Assistance and Management Team. This slide kind of shows you the report card. In order for the district to exit receivership, the district has to meet a minimum score, if you look at that vertical line along the number 6, of a score of 6 in each area: community relations and governance, pupil achievement, personnel management, fiscal management, and facilities. In 12 years, the district managed to accomplish a minimum score of 6 in one area: community relations and governance. This past year, we got 2 more areas across that finish line to the minimum score, and those are pupil achievement and human resources. In order to exit receivership, I have 2 more areas on the report card that we have to get to a 6. Facilities is a 5.8, and the last one is financial management. That's where we have a lot of work to do, and I think, as the mayor said in the beginning, we have a lot of work to do because we have to get our budget in order to provide a good education for the children in this community. So this is a good news report. Folks kept saying to me, well, when are you going to get the district out of receivership? Well, guess what? We're 3/5 of the way out now. Facilities at 5.8 is going to get across that finish line next year. So we are going to get there, and it's due to the hard work of the teachers and staff of this school district and our school board member, Mrs. Margaret Turner Evans, who's here tonight, and I want to acknowledge Mrs. Evans. Let me talk to you next about just what's happening in the school district, because I hear lots of folks talking bad things about the school district, and I have to be very honest with you, I'm kind of tired of it, because this is a school district with amazing employees that's on the move. I want to share with you this next slide, Malcolm, is called The Power of Determination. This next slide tells you where this district was. April 30th, 2000, Inglewood Unified School District, front page of the LA Times. That article I call the Inglewood Miracle article, because Inglewood in 2000 had the highest test scores in the state of California for African American and Latinx students. The highest test scores in California. How did Inglewood do it at that time? They had a consistent reading program across the district. They had some amazing principals in the schools. Many of you remember Nancy Ichinaga at Bennett Q and Marge Thompson at Kelso and Dr. Norma Jean Baker at Hudnall, Miss Susan Ipongi at Highland. We had amazing principals who made sure that their teachers were well trained in how to teach reading. We taught phonics beginning in kindergarten. This year, we're implementing a brand new phonics program across all of our schools called Core Knowledge. I guarantee you we are going to get to the next Inglewood Miracle because we're starting to teach kids to read better than anybody else in the state again. I just want to, this is a current picture of a teacher teaching core knowledge. Our teachers are so committed. Every one of our teachers went to a 5-day reading institute on their own time this summer because they said, I want to get better at teaching kids how to read. Commitment of our teachers. Next slide, Malcolm. I'm going to go through these really quick. If you didn't see this article that was just July 23rd, LA Times, it was the power of determination. The Inglewood High School Band, they did a huge feature story in the Inglewood High School, on the Inglewood High School Band, just a couple of weeks ago in the LA Times. Look it up. Beautiful story about the most amazing high school band. I am very, very proud to tell you, Mayor Butts nominated our band. Our band applied and got accepted. Next July 4th, the Inglewood High School Band is going to be marching down Constitution Avenue in the National Independence Day Parade. And the article in the LA Times said, this high school band represents the soul of Inglewood. And that is a quote from the new Inglewood High School principal who's here tonight. Stand up, please, Dr. Collins. Dr. Lamar Collins is the new principal at Inglewood High School, and you know what impresses me most about him? I walked that campus with him. Now, I've been an educator for 44 years. I walked that campus with him. He walks across that campus, and suddenly he has a group of 5 or 6 or 7 children swarming around him just to talk to him, to make a connection with their principal. That is an amazing principal. And Dr. Collins came to Inglewood last October, and I said, Dr. Collins, long-term commitment. I'm here. I've been in education 44 years. I'm not leaving until I get to 50 years in education. You got to make a long-term commitment, and he is committed. Next, I want to talk to you on the next slide, just a couple of things that are happening. Mayor Butts kind of stole the thunder on this one. Inglewood is spending, what Mayor said tonight, $50 million to renovate the library. Guess what? It's right across the street from Inglewood High School, and guess what we're doing? We're building a bridge over Manchester Boulevard to connect Inglewood High School to the new library. That is super exciting because it saves me $20 million. I don't have to construct a library when I rebuild the high school, because that's something else that's happening. Inglewood High School, starting next summer, is literally going to be torn down and rebuilt. The people of Inglewood passed a bond to spend $230 million. That's what you did several years ago. We're starting that project a year from now. A year from now, everybody knows I had to make the tough decision to close Morningside, but we're going to have all of the students from Inglewood for about 2.5 or 3 years. We'll attend classes, all of our kids together on the Morningside campus, because we're going to go in and we're going to literally demolish Inglewood High School and rebuild a brand new school there, bridge over Manchester to the new library. And the last exciting thing on that project I want to share you about. Next slide, Malcolm, if you don't mind. This is the power of community. Dr. Collins started at Inglewood High School this year an early college program. Students in Inglewood now, in the early college program at Inglewood High School, in their 4 years of high school, in conjunction with El Camino, they're going to earn a high school diploma and an AA degree at the same time. Those kids will have 2 years of college done by the time they finish high school. And guess what? Mayor Butts also talked about this. We had a big press conference on Monday because Dr. Dre and Jimmy Iovine said, we want to open up a new high school academy in Inglewood. That high school academy is going to be housed on the campus of Crozier, what's currently Crozier Middle School, because Crozier is closing down. So now imagine this. We're going to have Inglewood High School on this side, a new library in the middle, and we're going to have City Honors and the Iovine and Young, Dr. Dre and Jimmy Iovine Academy, where Crozier is now. We are going to have the education and innovation hub of Inglewood right there in the middle of the downtown area. Pretty exciting stuff happening. Next thing I want to talk about, Malcolm, really quick is folks said to me, what are we giving back? We're taking away so much because you got to close some schools. We got to close some schools because I can't continue to try to maintain them. We're building where the district office is now what we call a community sports complex. If any of you have seen Caroline Coleman Stadium lately, it is breathtaking because last year Nike gave us about $4 million to refurbish that stadium. The Dodgers, the mayor said the Dodgers have built 3 dream fields. Guess what? Our Sentinel Field baseball stadium, the Dodgers are going to invest and make that another dream field at the district office complex. So we'll have a football stadium, we'll have a new softball and baseball fields paid for by the Dodgers, and the YMCA is coming back to Inglewood. We have a partnership with the YMCA where the district office building is now. We're moving out of the district office building a year from now. The district office will relocate to the old Warren Lane site. And literally, YMCA is bringing in all of their money. They're going to tear down the district office building and build a 35,000 square foot YMCA where the district office parking lot is now, is going to be a swimming pool so that our kids will have access. We have a swimming pool at Morningside. We have a swimming pool at Inglewood. Neither one of those pools have had water in them for 10 years. They're beyond economical repair. The YMCA is going to pay. Our kids will now have access. Kids who are interested in water polo or competitive swimming will be able to use a YMCA pool that is in the middle of our community. So that's pretty exciting. Next thing I want to share, Malcolm, if you'll go forward, is another thing that our schools did this year that I'm super proud of, because folks say to me, you know, Morris, you're just interested in test scores and having kids learn to read and do math. Well, that's true. I'm very interested in that. But we also have to worry about the well-being of our kids and the social supports that they need and the mental health supports that they need. Our schools this year, our schools wrote grants for what's called community schools. We received actually a 5-year grant, $13 million, to bring in mental health services, support services, extra tutoring services for the children in our community. The picture on the bottom left side is actually a wellness center that we just built at Woodworth Monroe. We have a community partnership. We have a wellness center now that's breathtakingly beautiful for students. We have one at City Honors. We have one at Woodworth Monroe. We have one at La Tijera. We're moving forward with one at Oak Street, and then the next one will be at Inglewood High School to have wellness centers. And they have classes for students and staffing. So kids are taught meditation and breath work and yoga. They have a place where they have services that they need to not only take care of their academic supports, but also social and emotional supports. And then the last one, Malcolm, oh, that was it. That was it. I do want to point out one of the other things that we're doing, by the way, is we're going to be building workforce housing. One of the problems that we have in Inglewood, one of the problems that we face is last year we had 45 teaching positions that were unfilled all year long. We couldn't hire teachers. And so one of the things that we'll be doing is building a workforce housing apartment building that will be exclusively for teachers and classified employees of the school district, because we have to have the best teachers for the children in our community. One thing I'm proud of is last year we had 45 vacancies. Because the reputation of our district is turning around, because Inglewood is a place that want to come to, we're starting the year this year with every single position filled. I am incredibly proud of that. And my last comment I'll make is one of the supporters of the Transit Connect project was the school district, because we know we're going to have this new Dr. Dre, Jimmy Iovine Academy. We'll have kids who want to go from one part of town to another. That will be a transportation opportunity for the youth in the community. We're going to have this new YMCA where we're going to want young people from this side of town to be able to get to that YMCA. That library is going to be spectacular. We're going to want students to be able to go from this side of town to where the new library is located. With that, council member, I certainly appreciate it, and I thank you. I'll close with this. Jimmy Iovine, you know, Dr. Dre's partner, they asked him, one of the newscasters asked him the other day, you know, you had applications for this new academy from 15 school districts across the country, from Buffalo to Miami to Detroit. Everybody wanted this Dr. Dre, Jimmy Iovine, marvelous academy. They said to Jimmy Iovine, why did you select Inglewood? His answer was, well, why did you select the Inglewood district? He said, because I hear Inglewood's up to some good.
I love it. Do you mind? Let's see. Okay, please give him a round of applause. Wow. Inglewood Unified School District is really moving into much better territory, and so we have you to thank for that. So we really appreciate all that you're doing for our kids. And I don't know if you know, but I came from Inglewood Unified School District. I started off on the school board, and I have worked with several county administrators, but I will tell you, this one is really making a difference. And so I know that it was hard to hear that some of our schools are closing, but do you see the positive change that's happening? We're getting back on the map, and so look and pay attention, because we're moving forward. Yes, we're going to take a couple of questions. Okay. Yes.
Okay, schools are closed, and so my question to you had two areas from Inglewood Unified School District need to get up to see financial budget and facility. So what is your plan for that, for those two especially, because Inglewood Unified School District have Meshagay 130 million for the facility, 90 GG. So together, and all these million things that you are talking about, how can a 9 administrative county come and they haven't done any fix, a new guarantee with your old thing, but unless you have a dream about finally the budget for Inglewood Unified School District to move up to 6 as well as a facility, then all your great adios, all of this is not really going to happen. 1 + 1 is equal to.
Yeah. Great.
Is it back on?
Yeah, we're back on. That was a great thank you. So you're absolutely right that the two areas that have not achieved success yet are facilities and finance. And that's the reason that we have to close schools. We're operating more schools than we can afford, number one, to maintain, so the schools are not in good condition. We have a financial problem because if you look at an elementary school, for example, an elementary school, in order to be fiscally viable, should have about 450 students. If I have 300 students at a school, I'm not bringing in enough revenue in order to pay for that school to continue operating. So they're connected. By closing schools, we will solve some of the fiscal issues. By maintaining less campuses, we'll be able to keep them in better shape. I want to take just a brief...
We're going to go to the next. I'm sorry, ma'am. We're going to go to the next person.
I just want to say to you that I'm a homeowner for 41 years in District 4. And the reason I'm
Yeah, I'll stay. I'll stay. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you. We want to...
Hi, my name is Stephen Fisher. I'm actually a resident of the 1st District. The first comment that I have is actually off topic, but I do want to thank the mayor for clarifying for me the 17,000 jobs that he talked about for the People Mover are construction jobs. And in terms of ongoing jobs, there's only going to be 400 jobs because it just didn't math out. All of LA Metro employs about 11,000 people. So 1.6 miles compared to 1,600 miles didn't math out to employing 17,000 people. But my question to you, Dr. Morris, the first one is in relationship to the exclusive negotiating agreement with the Hardridge Development Group for the Morningside property. Is that in compliance with 17464 of the California Education Code? That's the first question. The second question is on great schools. It's a repository of schools nationwide, districts nationwide. They have Inglewood Unified School District rated as 2 out of 10. And this is following 13 years of receivership, 9 different county administrators. And my question is, do you think that that has something to do with a low enrollment? Because we haven't lost those thousands of kids living in the city. Actually, there's more kids coming in because of all the construction. So what do you attribute the loss and pullback from students in the district? Do you think is associated with performance? And I think that's it for now.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Fisher. And yes, we have had multiple legal reviews of that agreement. If you have a specific question, I'd be happy to have our legal counsel assist with it. I do want to say one of the things that I talked about in the presentation was we are starting to go back to what Inglewood did super well, and that was teaching kids how to read. And that's why we are doing several things. We're putting in a new reading program at the elementary school level, and we're strengthening programs at the high school level because you're right, this school district has low test scores. We have to turn that around. The beginning of that is when you have children in kindergarten, 1st and 2nd grade, that's when they have to learn how to read. That's why you have to have a phonics-based program at those ages. You also have to have opportunities for the older kids, and that's why we're doing a lot to strengthen, as I said, the high school academy that's opening up at Inglewood, the Iovine and Young Academy that will be opening up. We have to do both and say, not only take care of our young students, but we have to take care of the older ones. The last thing I want to say is, you know, I mentioned the Inglewood High School project, but we have so many other projects going on right now. Bennett Q and City Honors were our only 2 schools in the district that their enrollment grew last year. We're building a brand new building on the campus of Bennett Q because the enrollment grew there. We're strengthening the program that's at City Honors by bringing in the Iovine and Young Academy. Councilmember, if you'll just indulge me for 1 minute, because I am like so excited. I introduced board member Margaret Turner Evans, and I see 2 of our other board members are here, and I just want to acknowledge amazing, humble public servant, Ms. Joyce Randall. Mrs. Randall, oh, there's Mrs. Randall. And standing in the back of the room, Mr. Brandon Myers. And I think the fact that 3 of them showed up, that's a lot.
I love that. Thank you so much. And then, ma'am, we'll go ahead and take your question.
I swear it's not loaded. I just wanted to know, just to confirm, the new Iovine and Young Academy, is that going to be a public school or private?
And Young Academy will be an Inglewood Unified School District public school open to Inglewood resident students. And there will be an application process because we expect we'll have more students who want to go there than seats available. So it'll be done with a lottery, but it is going to be super exciting. I think, they built a $60 million new college at USC, and this is going to be amazing for the young people in our community.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Let's give him a hand. Again, I do want to acknowledge our board members, Dr. Morris. They're working really hard for our kids. This is not an easy job, so I hope that you give them grace, but they are making a difference here, and you're going to be happy with the outcome. You will. With that said, we are moving on to our next presentation, and I'm going to bring up Lewis Atwell, our Assistant City Manager, and he's going to have his team come up. And while he's coming up, there he is right there. I was like, I thought I saw you over there. While he's here, I do want to share with you that, and he's going to give you more detail, but one of the best things that I've done since I've been in office for the last 4 years is yesterday it was a culmination of us having a groundbreaking on Crenshaw Boulevard. Did you guys know about that yesterday? We are getting ready to give Crenshaw Boulevard a facelift, ladies. It needs a facelift. And so we're going to beautify the Crenshaw corridor, new streets, new trees, new everything is going to be all that it should be for our community and for our city. So he's going to talk a little bit more about that, but that was probably one of the highlights of what I've done since I've been here. And so I can't wait to see the final product. You guys are going to love it. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Lewis Atwell.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I see so many familiar faces. I say this every time, and hopefully not too many people are hard on me. But no, seriously, the councilwoman, she pushes very hard. And if it wasn't for her, this project would not be happening. Originally, this project was starting at the 105 freeway and was going to go all the way up to the north part of the city. And what we ended up doing was, because if we did all of that at once, it would be another couple years before we got there, because it takes a lot of money to do that large of a project, and we don't have all that money. So what we ended up doing was breaking the project up into 2 phases and making sure that District 4 was taken care of first, because District 4 needs the attention. And we did that with the councilwoman. If it wasn't for her, that wouldn't have happened. We would have tried to take the whole thing all at once. The other thing is, homelessness is a serious issue. It was brought up earlier. District 4 suffers probably the most because of the 105 freeway. We are looking at, it used to be a permanent solution was a chain link fence at one time, before people had portable tools with grinders. And I mean, if you give tools to people, they will figure out a way to use them and cut through anything. So we put down near the 105, we put in 1-inch vinyl coated chain link fence, stuff that you can't climb. But unfortunately, they can cut right through it like it's not even there. And so we are looking at a more permanent solution, and it's funny because the councilwoman actually brought this up. How about a 10-foot or 8-foot brick wall? And you know, that is something that we are considering, because that is probably the only thing that can keep the freeway, the people that are living under the freeway, and actually where the Yukon hits the 105, people were living inside of the freeway bridge. They had a ladder that went into the bridge. They could climb into the bridge, and they had ropes coming down where they were bringing in whatever they wanted up into the bridge inside of it. And, you know, Caltrans can't be everywhere. We brought up the CHP. But, you know, it needs to be their problem and not our problem. So that's one of the things that we're trying to do, and I'm working with the councilwoman, and I did speak to the mayor about it tonight. So anyway, I don't want to take up any more time. I think we should talk about Crenshaw, which is a major project. You know, as everybody knows, we did Century Boulevard, we did La Brea, we did Manchester before I came on board. But really, Crenshaw is the last arterial that we need to do, besides aviation. But no, Crenshaw is the last, and we're going to make it beautiful. And Tony Olmos, who's standing over there with the short haircut, he is the new Public Works Director. We brought him over from Pasadena. So we don't steal our employees like the police department, but we did hire him from Pasadena. Yeah, it's funny when cops say steal, you know. But he's fantastic. He was with the city of Manhattan Beach. He was with the city of Brea. He was with the city of Santa Ana. So he has moved around, but with all of that, he brings new and exciting ideas. And I think he's going to do a better job than me. And I know some of the people out here who don't like me are they're going to believe that. Right, Dorothy? So anyway, with no further ado, Tony Olmos.
So good evening. Good evening, everyone. Again, my name is Tony, and as Louis said, I just started almost a month ago. So I thought I'll just take a minute just to tell you a little bit about myself, since I am new to the community. I have been here before as a kid when I used to go to the Laker games down in the Forum, so I was familiar with the community back then. But I have 31 years of working professionally. I'm a civil engineer by education. And as Louis was saying, I have had experience with a number of different cities, some big, some small. So I've seen a lot, and I've seen a lot of things that work. I've seen a lot of things that maybe don't work. But what I want to do today was really talk to you about the project that we're just talking about on Crenshaw. And I think we have a slideshow. So as a councilwoman said, we had a groundbreaking for this, and it was fantastic, to really see this project come to fruition. So I thought I'll just give you a high-level overview, and obviously there's more information to come. So as Louis indicated, this project was broken out into 2 phases. So the first phase is the one that we're going to start construction on. It's from the 105 to Century. And I know you can't see the writing, and that's okay. That's just to illustrate, the project limits. And I'll talk about what are the kinds of things that are going to be going in there. So next slide. And the future phase that will take place later on is going to go from Century to 79th Street. So that's also going to be a big project, and that's something that we're working and planning for. But what I really want to spend some time on is going through the scope of work for Crenshaw. So next slide. So it's a big project, and I'll just start right from almost the bottom here. It's a $16 million construction project. That's significant, especially when you put together road projects. That's significant. That means that there's a lot of things that are going to be added to the infrastructure that's really, really going to beautify and make a really, really big difference. One of the first things we're going to do is replace all the damaged sidewalk and broken sidewalk all along the entire limits of 105 Freeway to Century. And there's also concrete on the side, the concrete lanes. Concrete is really good because it lasts for a long, long time. But there are some areas that are broken. So we're going to go ahead and fix those 2 in the curbs just to make sure that everything is going to ride nicely and go through that. At every intersection, we're also going to replace we're going to add new wheelchair ramps where there's none, or we're going to bring the ones that are there up to standard. And that's going to obviously provide the access to people with disabilities and people with strollers and things like that. So that's going to be a nice feature at every intersection. And one of the really nice features is we're going to replace the medians. As you know out there, there's some medians with just some concrete, there's some broken up ones. Some of the median curbs are really short. So what we're going to do, we're going to take out the existing medians so that we can raise those curbs up to about 8 inches so that it makes them safer for traffic. And we're going to reconfigure some of them so that you're able to, for improved traffic flow at some of the locations that are out there. And once we do that, there's still a lot of trees that are out in the middle, in the median. So we're going to protect as many of those as we can. They're the ficus trees. And we're going to have an arborist look at them and tell us which ones can stay, which ones need to come out because they're not in good shape. Now, if some of them come out, we're going to replace them with palm trees. And once we build the new curbs and the new medians, we're going to landscape it. And for the trees at the end of the project, we're going to put some lights at the bottom of it. So you kind of can see an illustration what that's going to look like. So at night, it really brings it to life. And and the landscaping be brought to life. And I have a slide just kind of showing a sample of some of the landscaping that will be out there. And the other thing you also notice is at every intersection, just about on the whole route, we have all the traffic signals that you're very familiar with. A lot of those poles are very old. Some of them no longer meet the standards for when you have, heavy winds, and just the condition of them are outdated. So we're going to have new signal equipment, new signal heads, new signal arms, very shiny, and all new signal equipment with technology to be able to monitor traffic. So we're going to have that with closed circuit TVs. That's what CCTV is. So it's all going to be communicating with our system so that we're able to provide that added efficiency. And we're also going to replace the streetlight conduit along the entire route to make our street lighting more reliable. And at the end, we're going to rehabilitate the pavement, the asphalt in between those concrete lanes. So then you have a nice smooth surface. And we're also going to replace all the signs that are out there that no longer have visibility or are old. So that way when you go down the corridor, you can see new signage, you're going to see new median, you can see new pavement. And for the striping, we're going to come back and put some high visibility striping, especially at the intersections where you have crosswalks. So that those also are more visible and safer for people to cross at any time, whether it's daytime or nighttime. So as I mentioned, this is a $16 million project. Next slide. So just to keep the presentation, manageable, I didn't bring drawings of every single median, but just to give you an example, some of the planting pallets are going to be out there. You can tell there's a lot of color, a lot of ground covers, trees. You're going to have some cobble where there's existing trees because you can't put grass or planting right next to the bottom of the tree because they still need some sunlight. So it's going to have a variety of hardscape and landscape, lights. So it's just really exciting on how this is going to look like. Next slide. So really where the pain comes in, so to speak, is what can you expect during construction? It's just like when you remodel your home. There's always an inconvenience. There's going to be a time when things get difficult. If you're remodeling a house significantly, there's going to be times where, you can't use your house like the way you are used to doing it. So for the street, what that means is that sometimes the lanes are going to be restricted. Most of the time, we're going to try to keep 2 lanes open in each direction. Right now, there's 3 lanes in each direction. At times, we may have to go down to 1 lane, depending on what work they have going on. If they have some concrete curing or other things like that, it may go down to 1 lane. So one of the things that we're going to encourage everyone is look for the alternate routes, because we're always going to have other ways to get around it. And if more people use those alternate routes as much as they can, because we know people live there, so obviously not everybody can do that. But at least for people that just pass through, if we can get them to go around, that'll hopefully keep cars off the roadway and we can keep it manageable. But the first order, we're going to start the project on the north side. We're going to start near Century, because we want to finish off near the south side because we still have to work with Caltrans on finalizing our permits to do some work down there. So we're going to start there. The first thing is contract's going to take out some trees in the parkway that are in bad shape. They're going to clear out what they call clearing and grubbing, which is essentially demo work, so that they can get everything ready for the rest phases. And then a lot of work will work simultaneously, signals and signage. And then towards the end of the project, that's where we start putting the landscaping in and the trees. And then we finish off with paving and with the striping. And all this, you'll start seeing more activity out there in the next couple of weeks. We expect to be under construction through 25, and by January 26, we should be done. So, as I say in the bottom of the slide, we do ask for your patience because we know that at times it's going to be frustrating. But what we want to do is make sure that you know who to call, and we know that we're going to do our best with our team to make sure that we can address any questions or concerns you have. So, and it's just a matter of communication. So next slide, please. So this is the one, if you want to take a picture of anything on the slide, this is a good one. I have some contact information from our team. Our project manager is Hunter Nguyen, and there's his email address there, and there's his phone number. That's our city project manager. He's the main point of contact for this project. And then we have our construction manager from Wildan Engineering, Mike Bustos. So there's his contact information. And then our contractor is All American Asphalt. And there's Jesse Villa's information. And just to let you know, we were very lucky because when it comes to awarding contracts, we have to award it to the lowest responsive bidder. And we're lucky that All American Asphalt is the one that was the lowest responsive bidder. They're one of the top contractors when it comes to doing projects like this. And we're lucky that we have them on the team since they have a lot of experience. They know how to try to minimize the impacts of any construction that we have. So they're going to do their best to make sure that they can provide anything that could be mitigated and make sure that they're going to stay productive and keep going and complete as quickly as they can. So that's really what the summary on Crenshaw, and I know my department also takes care of a lot of things in the public right-of-way, that's what we're mostly responsible for. But I just really want to say that I'm just really thrilled to working for this community. One of the things that the mayor said earlier, Inglewood's a place to be. That's one of the things when I was going through the recruitment process and learning more and more about the community and everything coming down, I just wanted to be part of this historic time in the city where there's just so much excitement, so much energy. And that's what attracted me to come here. And I'm just really looking forward to projects like these and also, obviously, ITC and other things, just to be part of it. So thank you so much. And if councilperson wants any questions.
He's pretty good, y'all. We should keep him, right? We should keep him, right? We're going to keep you. We're going to keep you, Tony. So before we bring up our next team member for Public Works, and then we're going to get to a few questions, I do want to acknowledge this team, Louis Atwell, Tony Olmos, and then also in the back, Thomas Uall, Parks and Recs. They all worked together to bring together a splendid, groundbreaking ceremony yesterday, and then now we're handing it off to Tony, who's going to take the baton and run with it the next couple of years. This will be a little bit painful for you all. It will not be easy. It will be a little bit inconvenient at times. But the final product will be beautiful, and you are going to be so happy with it. So, we do want to ask you for your patience for the next couple of years, but let's know that it will be worth it, well worth it. So with that said, I'm going to have Louis Atwell bring up his next team member. Thank you very much.
So, hey, Bill Thompson, come on down. You're the next contestant. So a little bit about Bill. Bill was also a police officer. I think he made it to the rank of captain with the city of Inglewood. And he retired from here and worked for Mayor Budds over at the airport. So with that, he now runs our traffic enforcement for the city as a consultant for LAS. Thank you.
Thank you all. So my name's Bill Thompson. I'm the Director of Parking and Traffic for the city of Inglewood. Parking officers, traffic control officers that you see working around our entertainment venues, directing the traffic, crossing guards at your schools, and we keep pretty busy. I'm going to be in the back of the room when the meeting's over. I've got cards. Most of my calls are when you call about that abandoned vehicle, the car parked on the street that keeps the sweeper from going by, or the trash company can't pick up the trash. Lately it's been travelers headed to the airport that park in front of your house and have an Uber come and pick them up. And You know, a lot of that going on, especially south of Imperial Highway. And then there's the commercial vehicles, the big rigs, the plumbers, the construction people that don't have any place to put their trucks and cars, so they put them in front of your house. And they leave them there, and then in the morning they have workers come and pick them up. I enjoy working with the councilwoman and her deputy, Malcolm. She expects results, not excuses, so I get a lot of calls. And we do our best to follow up and keep your streets nice, comfortable, residential streets, free from a lot of the debris and trash that vehicles that park there for long periods of time will take. Did you have a slide for me? I was going to say those are kind of what we do in a month. I get a lot of calls saying, well, we never see a parking enforcement officer. Where are you? But in this district here, we write about 500 or 600 citations a month. You'll see one street up there, 102nd Street, which is just east of Crenshaw, and most of those citations were from a party house. And I see Cheryl there. Thank you. Your planning commissioner there, she's another one that's got my phone number on speed dial. But a lot of that going on. If you go on social media and you Google something like renting swimming pools, there's homes around you now that rent their swimming pools out, that rent their homes out for parties. And this one house was a real problem for, gosh, what, a couple of months, I think. Cheryl, right? Yeah. And the gentleman that lived there and was running these parties wasn't even the owner. The owner was someone else, somewhere else in Los Angeles. So anyway, we've fixed that problem. He's gone, and I think they're selling the house. So I'll be in the back with my cards, and again, I love to hear from you if you have any questions. I can follow up with you, get your name and number if there's something you want me to follow up with. Permit parking program's a big thing. It's not on every street, but initially, 3 out of 5 weren't real thrilled about it, but it's flipped over. And now we get a lot of calls that will report strange cars parked on the street, and sometimes we help the police department because we'll come upon some kind of a vehicle that's more suspicious and maybe doing the wrong thing, and we'll turn it over to the police department. So we're here to take care of those kind of problems for you, and I'll be in the back, give you my card if you want to give me a call later on with a specific problem. Thank you. Okay.
Do we have any questions for our Public Works team? Wow, no questions? Oh my God. Everybody's feeling good about the Crenshaw Boulevard project? Raise your hand if you're feeling good. Wow. I'm excited. No questions for you guys. Great job. Oh, okay, there she goes. You have to...
You moved. No, it's been here. It was there. I want to know, since you're going on Crenshaw, you're not like moving the sidewalk around or anything, you're just going up the regular street? Is that going to affect us that's right there at Crenshaw?
We don't have the real estate to do it, unfortunately. But where there's areas where ADA is required, so assistance with handicapped or disabled, we'll take care of those areas. But the street is not being widened, it's being refreshed, essentially a facelift without adding new eyeballs or anything, you know? No houses are going to be knocked down.
Because my neighbors, they can't park on Crenshaw, they park in the back. So they sent me to find out everything that we need to know. So that's why I asked, because that would affect them. Because the street right there is red for you to turn on the 105 freeway. They face Crenshaw right there. So thank you. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. Oh, I think we have one more question.
What about the signal lights? That's a big problem because these signal lights, they bottleneck the traffic from 111th Place to Century. Or no, to Imperial. No, to Imperial and 105.
Have issues. So
Yeah.
they're going to all... Yeah.
Yes.
Major problem because folks that are coming off of their coming onto Crenshaw, the signals don't work, and when they do work, you're stuck in the traffic. The timing is completely off, and that's a huge problem. And I've called on it multiple times because there's something wrong with the timing.
Signals, because the signals are going to be replaced, that is going to be addressed as part of the project. Yep.
She said I'm going to hold you too.
Now it's him.
Let's give them a round of applause. All right, we're going to keep moving here. So next up is our wonderful Christopher Jackson and his team, the Economic and Community Development team. And they're coming up here with their next level t-shirts because they have an announcement here in District 4. So let's do this. Come on up. Good to see you. Thank you.
Yeah, those of you who know me, I'm usually wearing my bow tie, but I'm trying to advertise some good stuff that's happening here in the city of Inglewood. Thank you for this opportunity to be able to share an update with you all. Some of you know me, some of you don't. I'm the Director of Development Service for the city of Inglewood. I'll go through a quick slide. I'll try and condense this down. I know you guys have been sitting here for a while. I would normally say stand to your feet and sit back down, but some of y'all probably wouldn't sit back down. So we're gonna keep moving. I have a few of my leadership team that's here representing planning. We have Mr. Bernard McCrumbie. And y'all got to smile. Don't sit there like mug shots when you, yeah. And then representing our code enforcement, this is our code enforcement supervisor, Mr. Lee Ng. All right, let's dig right in. And I think I'm going to do this instead of go next. I'll just like that. Excellent. You'll get my cadence. All right, and then I will also, I got to take time to thank so much to our wonderful Councilmember Dionne Faulk. Thank her for the opportunity to be able to come in front of you and share with you. I've worked for a number of cities, and this is odd. In a lot of cities, the only time you get an opportunity to kind of have this close connection is usually at a council meeting, which you know can be very interesting at times. And for the cities that I've worked for, usually you don't have an opportunity to be able to really share. This gives you an opportunity to be able to speak directly with the council person, with some of the staff that are here. I want to also thank the other members of the executive team that have been up before, Mr. Lewis Atwell and some of the other individuals on the police and whatnot. So you can see up there, my kids told me that I'm supposed to use these QR codes that you can take your phone and point it to it and do all this magical stuff. So they're trying to get me to get into 2000, as they say. Just get into 2000, Dad, you'll be all right. So this is the leadership team. I want to show you this because I want you to show you that we are real people, really trying to do the job. We're excited about what we do. We have our motto, which is we strive to be the very best, provide exceptional customer service. And then we monitor all of this through a customer service survey. So you have 2 QR codes on the side. You have our department website QR. If you point the thing, click on the bottom in the yellow, it'll take you to that. We also have, or take a picture of it and you can do it again. I know, I see you shaking your head. I'm not that person either. And then you have the customer service as well that you can go to do a customer service survey. So we're excited about you getting the feedback to see how we're doing. For you have been at City Hall, the floor I occupy as director is on the 4th floor. The entire 4th floor is my department. So it includes the planning division, building safety division, and then our code enforcement division, as well as we're getting economic development back. So we'll be housing that on the 4th floor as well. Really excited. The reason we're wearing this next level t-shirt is we have our general plan process, which is underway. Last time that the general plan was done for this great city was 1987. 1987. That's the last time we had a comprehensive general plan update. In 1992, I finished the comprehensive general plan update for the city of Whittier when I was a senior city planner there. And even before that, you could imagine how many decades have gone on where we haven't. We've done an extraordinary job because we have extraordinary leadership, but we are now in the phase of trying to put together a comprehensive plan to say, what is our vision? Where are we going to go from where we are right now? The reason why we say next level and we say forging our destiny is because we want to go to the next level. And that includes all aspects of what we do in all of the areas that we touch from a land use standpoint. We want to update information. We want to have visioning statements, and so we have surveys to kind of figure out where are we going to go from here. We already know we're the entertainment capital of the world. That's done. But what about all the other enclaves of the city, all of the areas of the city that have the opportunity, our downtown area, our southern parts of the city, our industrial area, some of our parks and locations across. So we're asking that you participate in this. We cannot get this done without you. We need everyone to participate in one way or another. We're not asking you to be at every meeting. We're not asking you to respond to everything. But if you can just give us something, we can put that together, and hopefully we represent well as we roll out this general plan process, which will take the next about 2.5 years to get through. It's a long process, but the plan itself is 20 to 25 years plan. That's what we're looking at as the horizons. So if you can, that little QR code will take you to our page and you can begin to do that. Next thing, code enforcement. Code enforcement. That's Lee, right over there. Lee, yeah. So code enforcement is about preserving and enhancing the safety, appearance, and economic stability of our community through diligent enforcement of applicable ordinances and land use regulations. We get tons of call in about things are wrong. Neighbor's yard is left the cans out, grass is grown, paint's peeling, a little bit of everything. Cars parked on the in the driveway that are disabled. We get all of that and we process that. So what we ask for you to do, a lot of those initial processings are anonymous. And it doesn't allow us the opportunity to be able to kind of report back to you where we are. We have a progressive process that we go through. We give people really 4 bites at the apple before we move it over to our city attorney's office, and then they prosecute through the courts to be able to get the court to issue an order to get things done. So some of this process can be very long if you go through the whole thing. Our goal is to work with folks to get these things fixed. So when you're calling in your neighbor, you're calling your neighbor, and let me tell you something. So I'm gonna stop right there. If you're gonna call in your neighbor, make sure you don't have nothing on your lot. What's that all about? I spend more time with folks talking about the stuff in my backyard. What about the stuff in his backyard? Oh my goodness, come on y'all. So if you are gonna rat out somebody, make sure you don't have no issues, because if you do, your neighbor is coming after you too. And guess what? We can't choose. So if you have illegal structures on your property and you're talking about somebody else having, overgrown grass on theirs, that's the world we live in. So just a word to the wise. I get to tell people that all the time. Let's talk about some development activity. There's a lot going on in the city. You guys noticed that, right? Not only in the streets, which Lewis and Tony and his team are doing a fantastic job on, and we're going to see, this vibrant community that we all anticipate to happen, and we're going to go through the growth pains of all of that. I've worked for cities such as Santa Clarita, San Dimas. And you ever been to San Dimas? You might have been to San Dimas, right? And been to Putty Stone Lake or gone over there. That was one of the first cities I worked for. Worked for Whittier, worked for Santa Clarita. These are cities that took care of their infrastructure and took care of their roadways and took care of that. And it takes a concerted effort to make that happen. And I know one of the things Tony was talking about, and so was Lewis, about being patient. Patience is a very important part, but you must demand results. Got to get some results, right? So on our development activity, I want to start first by talking about some housing activity. Some of you guys have seen this. Please bear with me. First thing is the Crosby and the Wesley. You guys see this when you go on Prairie. You see these new, beautiful residential units that are very expensive and pricey. And they've adjusted the prices to be able to be a little bit more amenable to folks of working class stature. So, but it is worth going down and take a look at. You have some brand new, amazing, ideas that are waiting for you to see them, that you may be able to transport like I do to my house. I don't buy a new house. I just go here, look at what they did, and I tell my wife, we're going to do that in my house. As long as it doesn't mean adding on. That, I'm good. So this gives you an idea of what we're attracting and what the current look is for residential. And we also have our new project on Imperial. Is it a vacant lot or is it a tear down? It's a tear down, but this is a look of the, yeah, that's right. It's look of the unit when it's going to be completed. And we're going to begin to see this kind of upscale. So what we're trying to do is present in our new corridors upscale architecture. We're trying to revive. We want to be able to use some of our existing structures and retrofit those as much as possible. But then we also want to have some real chic stuff that comes in. A lot of these have affordability component built into them. So, several of the units, if not up to a dozen of them, end up being affordable housing. And we work with our housing division on that to make sure that we do have that affordability component. This is if you guys go over the old, what was it? Yeah, B&H's Toe, and what was it before? It was a taco spot. La Costa Tacos. Some of y'all got an accident like I have, and there's a little place right next door to that. They fix cars. And so right next to that is that La Costa Taco site used to be, and then B&H's Toe later on. But I think most folks remember the taco spot. And they're going to demo that building, and we're going to be looking at a 5-story building, 137 units in that, and some affordability component in that as well, I believe. Market rate? Okay. And then we have what's going to be our largest building on 330 East Florence. That was the old Payless shoe site, and it was demo. We had a bunch of homeless folks over there, and we worked with the property owner. I was just with the construction owner of the site, African-American young man doing some phenomenal things, building amazing things with him, and this is going to be one of his key projects in the city. It will be the tallest building in Inglewood when it's completed, and it'll be directly across from our Transit Plaza downtown. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Even though I miss my Payless shoe store, when my kids was little, that's all I went to was there. It's good quality shoes that don't cost a lot. All right, Hillcrest building. A lot of folks look at that building, they see it all wrapped up with stuff. They're not sure. Used to be old medical building. Some of y'all might remember going to that. Well, that's being retrofitted. It's obviously the existing structure, but it's 65 units are going to be in that. It's going to be an amazing rooftop deck there that they'll be able to oversee, I think, looking towards SoFi, looking towards Intuit, which is pretty cool. And they're progressing through the construction of that. Taking a little longer. You guys know interest rates went up, right? When interest rates went up, if you didn't have all your construction financing taken care of, some people struggled. This is one of those projects that slowed down because they didn't have 100% of their construction financing done. But they're securing that now, and so they'll be finishing that up pretty soon. The DeMilo, yeah, that one's coming almost completed. That's one across from the Astra. Downtown, the Astra, which is the one that has a Target in it. Across the street is this building. This is the Milo. This is looking, if you're looking south on La Brea, right? Coming right under the bridge, you're looking south. Here's what it's going to look like. It's 144 units above ground floor commercial. Very similar looking building, but it's actually different. Y'all remember the old car wash building? Yeah. I'm not supposed to say next, yeah. The old car wash building right by Randy's Donuts. You see, when you go around Randy's Donuts, you see all that construction fencing. Well, this is what's going to be built there. 8 stories, 222 units above ground floor commercial. It's called Jefferson Westchester. I tried to get them to change the name. I didn't like that Westchester stuff. Put Inglewood in there somewhere. But yeah, it is what it is. All right, let's talk about commercial activity. All right, you guys know the, what is it called? Trade Winds Hotel or Trader Joe's, what is it? Trade Wind, okay, y'all. Okay, y'all been asking about Trader Joe's so much, it's in my brain. But you know, they're going to tear it down, and they're going to build this, over here. So it's going to be a different concept that probably one of the first we've seen in here, which is true. I'm dead. Which is, hey, you already ready, huh? No, it's back. Thomas, quit hitting that thing right there, man. Quit playing with me, brother. You know I love you, man, but this ain't right time. Wrong time. All right, so, and I didn't touch it either, y'all. I didn't touch it. This is going to be a 13-story mixed use. It'll be truly mixed use. It's going to have 11 residential condos, 118 extended stay rooms. So it's looking for things that are beyond, corporate type things that'll come in. And then 175 hotel rooms, and then retail as well on there. So you imagine before and after. So when the mayor was talking about it's going to look totally different, this is what's happening, right? You guys know the old liquor store place that's right by the La Quinta Hotel? Remember they redid it to make it look better. It would look horrible. I worked with them to redo that remodel. You remember that one, B. Just because it was next to La Quinta Hotel, and the La Quinta Hotel was at least nicer. And so McDonald's, I think, has entered into agreement to tear down that building. They're going to build a McDonald's. I really want to give the councilwoman kudos on this because we were really having problems with, we didn't want fast food. We were trying to stay away from fast food. So we gave McDonald's a really hard time. The first version they gave us, I wish I should have put it up here, what it looked like. You would have been depressed looking at this McDonald's. And I told them, wait a minute, folks are getting off the freeway, coming in our entertainment district. It's the first thing they see when they come in, and they're going to look at this. No, we pass. So they came back and worked, and I think we went through maybe 4 or 5 iterations before we got to this concept. We showed them stuff from all over the country that they had done differently and special, and the world. That's right, it was international. What other country was it? Sweden or something like that? Germany? Yeah, we were going global on y'all, right? So they came back and they worked with this and they revised it. And I think this picture really doesn't do as much justice as it is because it's really going to be unique. It won't look like anything you've seen. It'll have some very unique features that'll be unique to Inglewood. Next. You guys know the old extra storage building that's literally across the street. That building, that old one-story building with, looks old school, 1962. Right. Well, they're going to tear it down, and they're going to reconstruct extra storage building. And the councilwoman, again, she was like, no more storage. We don't need any more storage. So what we compromised on was to change the look of it so it doesn't look and feel like storage. It actually feels like an office building. So I think as you begin to see the rendering, you begin to understand the scale of it and how if I just took extra storage off the top and I can put Apple on top of that, I can put whatever, and it'll still feel like that. So we are intentional about making sure that it's clear of what our standards look like. And then let me give you an update of what's going on in Hollywood Park. So it's exciting. I think last time I was here, I shared this map with you, and we were talking about things that were under construction, things that were happening. Well, some of that stuff has been completed, so I'm going to be showing you a few little information about that. But I put some circles around here because there are so many things that I didn't want to take up too much time. But let's start with this next one, JD Sports. JD Sports is a UK brand. It is not, you will not find a million of them everywhere, so it does give a unique nature to what's happening in Hollywood Park. Just opened up. It obviously is sports apparel, shoes, those types of things, but it's really chic, really cool looking store, feels really good, lots of white owls, very well designed. So I think you guys are going to enjoy that as you get those shoes for your grandkids and great-grandkids like I do, right? Next. Iconic Fitness. All right, so Iconics is our state-of-the-art, absolutely phenomenal gym. This is not 24 hours. Let me say it again. Not 24-hour fitness. What's that other one where you just go in and it's not Planet Fitness. This is not that. This is chic. This is the stuff my wife like to go to. This is where she'll hang out, right? And so Iconics is open, and you can see even from the decor, excuse me, I'm backwards. The decor, what it looks like is you can go visit, you can go in, you can get a day pass, you can walk in there, you can feel, this is your community. And I almost feel bad that we have these amenities and we don't go experience this. But we'll drive all over the other places and experience those things. We have this right here in our neighborhood, and we need to go in there. I didn't say get the membership. You don't have to do that. But at least, he probably would be mad if I said that. But at least go experience it. Tell people you know who might want to work out all day, this is the spot to be. The next, this is the one I was trying to incorporate some video on you, but I couldn't do that. But if you see me on the side, I'll show you the video of this, because this doesn't do it any justice. This is COSM. I talked to you guys about this immersive experience venue that is, I was in Vegas. Anybody been to Vegas to the Sphere? Anybody gone to the Sphere? Okay, I see a few. The Sphere is this gigantic screen. You're inside, you feel like you're there, literally, right? Well, this is really a smaller version of that, but I went to see they were testing it, and I went to see one of the playoff games. Oh my gosh. I don't have to go, I can be there. It's that amazing. When you're in there, you feel like you're literally at the game. Without goggles on or all that stuff, you're just sitting there, and it comes with all the luxuries that go along. It's hard to see, but these are the seats here, and that's the screen, right? Those are the seats in the corner, and that's the screen. So I know they're doing tours and stuff like that, but if you get an opportunity, and maybe the council, remember, we can working with their team to try and do a lottery and get some people in there. Maybe we can work on that. If you guys anybody want to go see it for free? Oh yeah, everybody raise a hand for free. My saying is, me and free have never had an argument. I've argued with everybody else, but never free. So this is an amazing. You can go into the entryway, and you can do that on your own. But to get into the actual location where they're actually showing the large screens, that is the key moment of it. Is something that you want to experience. So, Councilwoman, we'll work on that. I'll talk to the team. He's supposed to be down next week, so I'll talk with him, and maybe we'll get 10, 15, 20 passes, and then you can lottery them off to folks that showed up. You guys have your emails. You telling the councilwoman you're here. If you need to meet with her assistant Malcolm, look at Malcolm looking at me, and give him your email. And we will give away free tickets to go to COSM. I know some of y'all gonna be hitting me up. I understand, but we will do that. That'll be something you see, and we'll get. Huh? The sign up sheet is outside because you don't want to do that. Okay, I got you. Next. All right. So y'all gonna be like, well, okay. And I deliver on my promises, by the way. So just to let you know. All right. So this is anybody been to Sinopolis? Yeah. Come on now. They went through some hiccups trying to figure some stuff out. They had robots rolling around in there, and when people got served, my wife was picking them apart. I was talking to the manager. But it is phenomenal to have a theater in our community. I'm so tired of going to Howard Hughes. I'm so tired of going all the way down. And you know how good it is to come. I live here in Inglewood, so to come in here and just leave out, and in 5 minutes I'm home, that is amazing for me. And my kids don't even have a chance to ask for anything else, because when I'm all the way out in Torrance, we've stopped like 6 places before. So thank you for that. So, but it's a phenomenal, there's a bar area in there. You don't have to go to the theater. You can go into the bar just like you can here at the casino. All right, drum roll, please. All right. There it is. Oh. What they used to say, y'all don't understand. Y'all don't understand. This Intuit Dome is without question the most amazing NBA arena that you're ever going to see probably in your lifetime. The closest you probably get, you have to go overseas and go to Dubai but here, this is phenomenal. And I can't do it the justice. You have to go. You do have to go. We'll work on something, right? They're like, Cosm, you got me the Cosm, a little bitty Cosm, and I can go there. Okay. But you have to experience it. A couple things. There's public art all around it. Amazing public art. The entryway, the band shell where you can see this gigantic, it's just all phenomenal. There are a lot of videos on YouTube. You can take a look at that and kind of get a feel for it. But I'm not easily impressed. This impressed me. Not easily impressed. When I went inside the venue, I've never, ever in my life thought about paying for season tickets, ever. I'm too cheap. My wife will tell you, I'm too cheap. This one, I think I'm going to get season tickets for this because I think it's going to mean something. Because when you go inside, this is what it looks like. It is, and again, this doesn't do it the justice. You have to experience it. So I challenge all of you to at least either one of the concerts or one of the games. The wall, which is this area that you're looking at, which is this, where's the wall? The wall over there, those seats are $30. So you can't tell me you can't go. It's $30 for these wall seats, and you're on a wall. You're literally amazing number of people. Now, Balmer has said a thing where you got to have your Clipper stuff on. So you Laker fans or Golden State fans, y'all going to have to leave that at home and bring your Clipper wear because that's the agreement. That's the agreement. You get on the wall, you paying $30, you got to be a Clipper fan for that 2.5 hours. All right? So, which means I'll be sitting on the other side because I'm a Laker. No, I'm just playing. All right, so what are the acts that are coming in there? And then I'm closing. We have Bruno Mars tomorrow. That's our grand opening. That's the ribbon cutting. All the she, everybody's going to be there. You're going to see a lot of black limos all over the place. The billionaires are going to be in the house tomorrow. The councilwoman is going to be in the house tomorrow. We'll be representing the city there for our official ribbon cutting of the Intuit Dome. Bruno's going to be there the 15th and the 16th. And if you missed that, you might want to go check out Usher. Usher will be there all week long from September 21st. Since my birthday is September 16th, one of y'all can sponsor me to go see Usher. Any sponsors out there? Y'all hands was raising when I was talking about free tickets. Now no sponsor. I see y'all. And then if you like me, you love also Billy Joel is going to be coming in there, and a lot of acts are going to be coming. So there'll be plenty of opportunities for you to be able to go and experience it with some really good music, some really good opportunities. We have some amazing events that are coming up in the city. We're working through our issues and our problems. But I'm telling you, everywhere I go, when I bring up the city of Inglewood, it's the same thing. You guys have done an amazing job. So I know we have our issues. We don't work through all that stuff. But if you step back and you look at where we are right now as a city, it is phenomenal. It is. And I've worked for a bunch of cities. Never seen anything like this. So for this moment in time, we should just celebrate who we are as Inglewood. So give yourselves a hand. So with that, I'm done. I'm going to turn it back over to the councilwoman. We had a bunch of questions. I know. Yeah. That's awesome. When those.
Let's have any questions here. Any questions at all? Ooh, I know we went over, so I know our residents are tired. Y'all are ready to go home, but let's get some good information tonight. Please. Again, give it up for Chris Jackson and his team. And I just want to thank you all so much for staying through all the presentations. This has been a wonderful night. I hope that you learned a lot. You see where we're going. Let's keep our team together. We have a long way to go still. We've come a long way, but we're getting ready to go all the way to the moon. So let's have a wonderful rest of our year. And I will hopefully see a lot of you at my backpack giveaway on the 24th. Thank you so much. Give yourselves a round of applause for staying all the way through. And I will see you next time. Drive safe. Yes. Oh, yes, yes. And great presentation. Yes.